muscle here.
Yeah, let me pump up a little bit, you know.
All right, this is the Wrestling Doctor here for Pro Wrestling Extra, and I'm sitting here with one of the preeminent half of the team of the Fuggedaboudits. I'm telling you what, these guys excite me just watch them. These guys can get in there, control the crowd, control the action, and they are absolutely a blast to watch, and they are really good wrestlers. So before I go too far, let me say this. Go to YouTube, look up Johnny Carino and Donnie.
It's just the Fuggedaboudits.
Okay, just the Fuggedaboudits.
Yeah, Johnny and Donnie, the Fuggedaboudits. It'll come up. That's
all right, look them up, man. You'll enjoy it. All right, look, thank you for sitting here with me.
Thank you for the kind words, you know.
They're true. They're not just kind, they're true.
Yeah.
Look, this is Johnny Carino, Johnny Fuggedaboudit. Tell us, how did you get in this business?
Well, you know, started as a kid, you know, family, always watch wrestling. Wrestling was always in the family. You know, it's funny, like, my mom always said, like, she told me the story when she was pregnant with me, always watched wrestling, and then actually when she went into labor, I don't know if this is a personal story or not, but when she went into labor, she was watching wrestling, so,
wow.
And that's like, it goes back all the way that far, so.
So you've been in the business since you were in the womb.
Yeah, exactly, that's how it happened, and I'm still going, you know, 22 years strong. But again, always wanted to do it as a kid. I think it was 9 years old when I first said, hey, I want to be a professional wrestler, and it just stuck with me through school, through high school, and as soon as I graduated, I joined the Team 3D Academy with Bubba and Devon, and probably the best thing I've ever done in my life, best decision I've ever made was to go there. I learned so much, and
absolutely.
Yeah, and I contacted them when I was like 16 years old, sent back emails back and forth with Bubba and Devon, and you know, and as soon as I graduated, I joined up, and that was. Oh, that's history now, but...
Okay, well, what year was that you were in 3D Academy?
2009. August 31st, 2009 was my first day there.
Okay, so you trained for how long?
I'm still training there, but I was going every day for about a year or two. Actually, 2 years, yeah, strong. And then now I still go back. I still go back like once a week, just to, you know, keep out everything, help the new guys out. Right. And they blow me up, you know, it's good workout for me, and absolutely. Always good to work on my stuff, you know, that's what I do.
Right. Well, how long before you had your first match?
Well, I was training there for about a year and a couple months when I asked Bubba, I was like, you know, so do you think I'm ready? He's like, you're definitely ready. So I went out, I was actually here in Jacksonville. USCW was my first show. I worked Teddy's Stigma, and it was about 5 minutes long, and I had my first match.
Wow.
And that was that's where the addiction started. I love the crowd. As soon as I heard that crowd, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I was the heel, and they were booing me. I never felt anything like that in my life, and I loved it. And that's what I strive to do every time now. As long as I'm getting a reaction out of the fans, I'm golden right there.
Well, you realize, of course, that's the sickness.
Yes.
That you cannot get cured ever. That's why I'm still sitting here at 60 messing around.
Yeah.
You love it. You cannot get away from it. It's impossible.
Yes.
All right, well, tell us, everybody wants to know, how did the Fuggedaboudits come about?
All right. I was first started out, and I met this guy. His name was Jason Static, the electrifying Jason Static. And he came down to the school, joined the school, and we trained for a little bit. And got time for me to do shows. And like my third show, he's like, hey, listen, do you want to come to New York with me? I was like, well, for what? He's like, well, I got this promotion up there. I used to run it. You know, I used to do the training up there. It's called VPW, Victory Pro Wrestling. They're really good up there, honestly. They're awesome. And you want to do a show with me? Yeah, so that's fine. So we went up to New York together. We wrestled each other on the show. I was generic John Carino at that point, but after that we just clicked. We were always messing around with each other, calling each other, and about a couple weeks later, which is funny, we ended up down here back in Florida, and some guy wanted to tag us together. And you know, I was like, all right. Day of the show, he told us, hey, you and Static are tagging together against Los Pendejos, actually. And I was like, you know, I don't want to go in there and just do a big generic tag team. Let's throw some substance in. So I called him up. I was like, you think we could do like this Italian thing? Because he was kind of doing it, and I'm 100% Italian, so you know. And he's like, yeah. I said, bring any Italian things you got. New York Italian. So he brought his Yankee hat, he brought the jacket and stuff like that. I had my Italian flag I brought with me, and it was a promotion called WFA, and we tagged with the Los Pendejos there, and we did the Fuggedaboudit characters, and it went crazy. The crowd loved it. They were screaming, "Forget about it," and everything like that. And it was awesome. So it took off from there, and we started getting booked shows as the Forget About It.
You definitely connect with the crowd, either with the cheering or the booing.
Yeah, well,
a lot of the booing.
I like the boos more though.
Okay.
That's my sickness again, like you said.
All right, well, let me ask you this. This is a question that you kind of wanted me to ask, so I'm going to ask you.
Yes.
5 years from right now, where are you going to be?
I love this question. I think it's something that all of us should, as performers, should think about. Because it's always about the future of this business. 5 years. Well, let's start with this. The dream started when I was a kid, and there's always one thing that stuck out to me, and that was main eventing WrestleMania. That's the one thing I wanted to do my whole life. I'm getting goosebumps right now just talking about it. So, I saw my first WrestleMania. I was like, that's it. That's what I need to do. I need to get to that main spot, and never left me. Never left. That's the dream. I wear it on my wrist now. I don't like tattoos, so I went out and got this band that says MEWM, which stands for Main Event WrestleMania. I saw a quote that said, "The more you remind yourself of what you're gonna be, it will actually happen." So yes. I said, got one of these. So every time I'm in the gym or even at work, and I'm looking down, I just look it down. It's like, I'm gonna be the main event at WrestleMania one day. It's gonna happen. And joined Team 3 Academy happened, and Bubba sat me down and he looked me in the eye and said, "Why are you here?" Just like that. "Why are you here?" And I said, "I'm here to achieve my dream of main eventing WrestleMania." And he said, "If you don't do that, and if you have no drive to do that, get out of my business or get out of my door right now. You're just gonna waste my time and your time." And that always stuck with me too. With those words. So it's with me every day, and that's what I plan on doing. So in the next 5 years, I see myself working with the top company, one of the top companies at least, learning from the best, training with the best, on TV with the best, and step by step going towards that goal of main eventing WrestleMania.
I am ecstatic hearing you say that.
Yeah.
Hearing you have that positive energy that's coming out of you right now, because I work with a lot of young guys, and I'll work with guys that I'll critique their matches, and they get upset because I may say a few things that they thought that they were doing right, and I say, no, you need to change what you're doing right here and do it differently. And they have the attitude but I'm already tag team champions. I'm the best I can be. I'm going, I'm 60 years old. I learn every single day about things. I take it like a college course.
Exactly.
I study, I learn, I watch, I pick up things.
You have to do all of that. It's funny because Ric Flair did an interview about a couple of years ago, and he was like, the funny thing is, he's 60 years old, still in the business. He's learning every day.
Absolutely.
If Ric Flair's still learning, then everyone's learning.
The business evolves. It doesn't stay stagnant in one spot. It evolves, so you got to keep up with what's going on.
And part of our business is taking constructive criticism and taking it and branching it out. That's exactly what it is.
I've noticed the guys that are good wrestlers, that are steady, wanting to learn and progress further and further, are better able to take constructive criticism.
Yeah.
The guys that are stuck where they are don't want to hear any bad things, but they stay in that same spot. But this is great talking to you. Let me the other question I've always been asking the guys, I want to ask you, because you've been in here 09. That's 4 years in the business.
Yes, that's when I first started training. Yeah.
So 4 years in the business, working. What advice can you give some of these younger guys that are starting in the business today?
Well, definitely what we just talked about. Always take criticism, good or bad, just and translate that to your ring work. You know what I mean? From guys that have been in the business as long as you. Even just your best friend who's in the business with you. Always take criticism, see what you can do about it. It might not always be right, but if they're saying go to the fans more, try it out. The independence. This is how I view it. The independence is where we learn.
Absolutely.
As independent wrestlers. We try new things, try new characters, try different moves, try different things, psychologies. And that's probably the biggest thing I can think of, is for the young guys, is just to always take criticism and work on yourself. Work on yourself, always. Always change it up. And of course, join a reputable school. You don't want to be trained by Joe Schmo who's just going to take your money.
Right.
You know what I mean? That Bubba and Devon. Like I said, best decision I made. You know, joining Team 3D Academy.
Now that brings me to a question I always get from the younger guys too: is I can't afford to go to a reputable school right now. What do you do while you're saving your money? You still got to get to a ring and work out, but what do you do if you're a young guy and you're saving your money? Can you give them some advice?
Well, unfortunately, probably if you don't have the money, they're not gonna let you in the ring. I know Bubba and Devon, they offer monthly payments of a couple hundred.
If they can't afford, they can't go down to Devon school. Say they're stuck in Georgia, but they got a ring in Georgia. You know, what would you advise these guys to do? To go and pay attention and learn what you can, get your basics.
Start looking at the business as a business and study your tapes. Get into shape. You know, it's not easy in the ring. You know, you got to be in shape to do it. Of course, you won't be able to get in the ring shape, but always keep up your cardio in the gym. Get a look. You know what I mean? It's all a part of that. It's all a package. You know.
Absolutely. I tell the guys, you don't have to be a bodybuilder.
No.
But look like an athlete.
No. And especially in today's world, there's a spot for everybody. There really is.
There really is. You know. Look, thank you for sitting down here with me.
Thanks for listening to me ramble. So
I loved it. I love everything you said, man. You're hitting right here when you're talking like that.
Thanks.
So thanks a lot. This is a wrestling doctor from Pro Wrestling Extra. Thanks.